Hello everyone, it's Laura here again with Healthy Places Surviving Mental Health Stigma blog. In my blog this week I talk about how clickbait contributes to mental health stigma. I'm sure we've all seen those stories around. There are a few specific websites that they typically come from, although I won't mention names, and they present stories in this typically sensationalistic way that completely or almost completely takes away from the original story or doesn't tell it in quite a true way, and ultimately contributes to mental health stigma by perpetuating these ideas that mental health and people with mental illnesses are crazy or outlandish, or that their disorders are disgusting, and so on and so forth. So here are a few tips that I have based on my own experience as a journalist, since I am a journalist as my day job, and I think that I can maybe help differentiate between I guess what I would consider true journalism versus clickbait journalism. So one thing that I've noticed that these clickbait sources do is they find people, sometimes even through Facebook support groups, which is kind of scary, and they approach them saying that they want to tell their story. And that's also something journalists do, except we don't typically go into support groups. But we approach people and say, hey, we want to tell your story. Can we do that? Will you let us interview you? And that seems all fine and dandy. But what these clickbait sites do is the authors of these articles, they will offer to pay you for your story, which in my experience has never happened. As a journalist, I don't offer to pay people for their story. I just say, will you share your story with me? Will you sit down for an interview? And then we go from there. And so to me, the payment is kind of a red flag for a clickbait source. And another red flag that I've seen is that they might make you sign a contract. And from what I've heard, this contract can be for exclusivity, meaning they're the only ones that can tell your story, probably for a certain period of time, I'm not sure. And it might also say in there, I'm not sure of this, that they have the right to sell your story or share your story with their sister sites or their other companies, whatever the case may be. And from what I've seen, they all end up being this same clickbait sort of thing. And the story just keeps getting twisted more and more and more. It's kind of like a game of broken telephone. So that would be another thing to watch out for. Because in my day job, I never make people sign any sort of contract, excuse me, of exclusivity. I don't say, I'm the only one that can tell your story, I'm the only one that can sell your story. So if there's any sort of contract involved with that, that's just very strange to me, and I would avoid it. If you want to go and check out the written blog, again, that goes with this video, the link will be in the comments, and it will, like I said, give some more info on how these clickbait articles contribute to stigma, and how that's detrimental to mental health and mental illness as a topic, and to the people who live with mental illnesses. So thanks, as always, for watching this video, and see you next time.